All right, guys, welcome to All In with Eric Hatch. I appreciate you guys being here. I know that we're all busy, and so I hope to bring some good stuff to the table for you on that. So let me get back to the start here, and we will go with that slideshow. I got to move this down. Slideshow right here. Presenter view. Start from beginning. All right, so welcome everybody. Today, I know that that things are quite exciting in regards to I feel that the market is, I feel it's picked up a little bit. I know we had 3 weeks of interest rates going down. And so it kind of changed a little bit. I know the last week things have kind of adjusted against, and now we're just all pins and needles and, lenders and people kind of waiting and seeing kind of what's transpiring and going. I want you guys to take that, can copy that, write it down, the bit.ly at All In with Eric Hatch. Feel free to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because there's years of these videos of All In with Eric Hatch that are there that you guys can go and review and watch. And if there's something that triggers that you need some assistance and trouble with, you don't have to wait for the next class. You can just go watch that video and then share a little bit about that. But what this bit.ly link here is, though, is that there's probably about 20 or 30 documents in there of things that we would like, business plans, things that we've collected, like my buyer and seller checklists and things like that we will have. Anything that I feel is a tangible piece of paper that needs to be addressed or brought in when it comes into these classes, that I drop that in there. So feel free to do that. And so I think we just got, there's Jessica right there. Okay, welcome, Jessica. Appreciate you being here. I saw that you just jumped in. All right, so what we're going to do here is what I really feel is that right now, if we're not positioning ourselves, and I'm hoping that most of you guys were trying to position yourselves about 2 months ago, 3 months ago on expired listings and stuff. I know my assistant this morning just asked me, I keep putting these in. She's a couple weeks in and new-ish, well, at least to me, but she's been in the industry for a while. And she goes, what are we doing with all of these? And I said, hey, we're about to pounce. We're about to take this to an additional level on what we're going to do with these expired listings. So guys, I've been on 21 listing presentations since the beginning of the year. It's been fun because 2 months ago, I started positioning myself to wanting to go out and get these listings. I will tell you that listings, you'll last. You'll last longer in a business if you get them. You guys will understand that those who are new, just like when I spent a lot of my time with buyers, and I know there's a couple new agents that maybe 4 years ago, I was just talking to her. She moved out of state and she was our #1 rookie of the year that went through my training, which was fantastic. Dawn, if you guys remember Dawn. And so I remember her first listing. She got her first listing and just went, wow, that was different. That was weird. I like buyers better. So it does. There's a whole different dynamic of learning when you start working with listings and stuff. But I will tell you guys, list to last, and this is it that I'm going to share with you basically how you go in and get those listings. I have lost 2 listings out of the ones, and I'm going to share that. I've got 9 of them listed and 6 more that are coming, that are committed to me, that just aren't signed yet. Feel free, guys, to get the SCLM in California. I know we got probably some people from Reno, but there's this SCLM that don't even know what it stands for, but seller something, keeping it off the market. But I sign it. I don't wait for them to come back to me and say that my Uncle Johnny, got that's in real estate, and thank you, Eric, but now I'm going to be using him, and he just called me and I feel bad. I know I told you I'd list with you, so I get them signed. I've got listings that are signed that are coming on April and May, already signed, because I don't want to take that chance that some relative or a friend comes along and then is a better sweet talker than I am, and then they get them. So so we're going to talk about this a little bit about the importance of what to do, because really there's 3 ways to get more business. We could wait for it. Anybody's phones just ring in the last 10 seconds? Now we're waiting. We're waiting for it. Is it coming? Anybody coming in the parking lot? Somebody's walking in the parking lot. Yesterday, I said, look at this handsome guy walking in. Like, I don't know who he is. He walks in. It was actually my assistant's husband, which was hilarious. But like I'm always watching the parking lot, like who's coming in? What can we do for them? But guys, I'm telling you right now, is just waiting for it just isn't going to cut it anymore. I will tell you, in 1995, when I started, I built my whole entire business by sitting in this office and getting lead after lead after lead on floor time, because people did not have the internet. I know that dates me a little bit, but we didn't have the internet, and there was not people that were, they just couldn't find an agent. So the only way to do it is either drive around, see a sign, or stop into an office, grab a magazine, and then go. And so there's a lot of different things I did a long time ago, but right now for sure, I just don't wait for it anymore, because there's two ways to get leads. There's time, and there's spending, putting in some of your own personal time to be able to get them by door knocking or calling, or there's money. Now, some of you might have a super tight budget, and some of you just go, hey, I'm gonna throw a lot out there. And I will tell you that certain things that I didn't do in the past because I didn't have a lot of money, and certain things that I do now that I spend and put some money into it. But if I get a return on investment and I look at there at the very end of the year and I say, look, I put $30,000 in this program or 12 grand in this program, and I actually brought in $100,000 worth of GCI, then it actually kind of pencils. So you'll build yourself to get to that. I certainly don't want you guys to go out and feel like you got to get into a bunch of debt before you actually can make it happen. So, but I certainly don't want, like Yelp, for instance. Yelp, I never put any money into Yelp then until I got reviews. Now I have reviews. I put a little money into Yelp. The return is really good. But if you don't have reviews on Yelp, do not go spend a bunch of money on advertisement on Yelp, because you have 1 review, 0 views, negative reviews, whatever it is. That just wouldn't be, it's not going to make it for you. So time and money, or you just make it happen. I know that we shared yesterday, and I think Jessica was there, about a race car, and thank you, Jessica, for your post last night. That was very sweet. And so, it's about that we're for the last several years, and maybe there's some people in here who've been in real estate for a while. I know Sharon Diaz is in the house. She's been in real estate for a while, and the last 10 years we've been going down a straightaway, just a straightaway. It's real easy to get business, easier. Now, I'm never going to say real estate is easier or easy, but it's just been easier, where then people just jump on your car and then just say, hey, sell a house. Oh, I want to buy, I want to sell. And then you got all this business, and now we're in the corner. And now this is where we're positioning ourselves to say, this is where you're going to be, either crashing and burning, or you're going to be going into pit stop. You got to readjust something, but you just got to go get it. And I wanted to share this, which I forgot yesterday in my meeting, is that I just really feel that I can go get it because I don't allow the market to dictate the type of business that I want to be. If I got to go work a little bit harder, that's great. My wife is in San Diego on a sister's trip, which is great. So Thursday night, she calls me and goes, where are you at? Dinner's almost ready. So great, you can stay as late as you want tomorrow night because I'll be out of town. So it's great. So the cleaners knocked me out of here about 9:45 last night. It was quite fun. So, but I was just hanging out because, you just make it happen. So I want to share, you guys, this is kind of fun. Anybody bake? Anybody like the cheesecake? Anybody know where the story of Betty Crocker came from? No, we got a lot of more people coming in. This is great. Let me just share with this a little bit about Betty Crocker. I don't know, do you guys cook things by scratch? I know Jessica loves to do German pancakes, which is a great recipe. But you guys actually, a lot of people like cook. I can't see everyone, but you can just say, hey, if I cook by scratch, or do I just go get a microwave and I just put something in it? I sold a house. I went to a listing presentation years ago. It was about they've been there 10 years. And I said, oh, this, how are the appliances? He goes, well, I never used the oven. To me, that's so foreign, but never used the oven in like 10 years. So let me just share really briefly. What happened is that back when it was, I don't know, 50s or something, and Betty Crocker, they came out with this box, and they said, guys, we're going to make this where you can just mix this up and you can just bake it and you go. It was a complete flop. It flopped completely because so many people said, that's weird. I want to go out and actually grab my eggs from the chicken coop, and I want to sift my own flour back whenever they were doing it. And they wanted to create this own meal because we were all into kind of making it by scratch. Well, what happened is what they did is they made one small adjustment, and that was they took the eggs, and when it flopped, they took because it used to have egg substance in it, and it was like a dried powder egg, and you just had to mix it and you were done. Now they said, okay, fine. Let's make it where you just have to add the eggs and everything else, and then to make it kind of like a mixture between a homemade and a, kind of a homemade and a box cake. Now, I'll tell you right now, I think that the box cakes in my personal opinion, are just so much better than a dense homemade cake. But anyway, they just made that simple adjustment. And so now you can see where Betty Crocker is. So in our lives, we just need, in our business net strategies, is just make some kind of small little adjustment on that. So if you have a little action that deserves a reaction, and sometimes the actions you could do could be negative, sometimes the actions you do can just totally change it and you'll have a positive reaction. So let me talk about listings, inbound versus outbound. We've got got the passive approach on inbound, and you got non-dependable. The outbound of active approach, dependable, duplicatable, and predictable. And I shared that with you a little bit about your reviews. If you have such a good presence out there and you actually are getting reviews by, I don't care who they are, family, friends, associates, title, lenders, whoever can give you any kind of review, even if you haven't sold them a house, if they could just say something nice about you on Yelp or something nice about you on Google, you will notice that you're going to get inbound leads from buyers, sellers, and real estate agents. I'm going to be listing a $260,000 20-acre piece of land. Because a guy from Florida, an agent, called me. I listed a house, a $690,000 house yesterday that is pre-opened with Old Republic title that's in the house. So those are both by referrals from agents who are calling me. So guys, this outbound, inbound referral stuff, it's huge. So if you make sure your folks and your database knows that, I don't care where you're moving to, you make sure you call me, even though I don't live in New York, you make sure you call me and I can refer somebody to you. So there's a whole, getting more listings right there is important. And I would put a pro tip on this, guys. When you do that on your reviews, make sure that you ask them specifically to give you a review, not just to say, how Sabrina, how beautiful she is, and how wonderful, she's so great, it was a wonderful transaction. I want them to say, Sabrina helped me find a second property, and she was invaluable to me because of the knowledge she had on the rentals and the secondary market on properties as investment properties. I just closed a house yesterday and the lady actually did that. And so I want it to be specific. If you want to say that Lauren just sold somebody's probate home and said, thank you, Lauren, for selling that house, but I want you to say, I was far away in a different state and I contacted Lauren and she handled everything when I was far away in a different state for my deceased relative's property, and she did a fantastic job. And I want you to also tell them to put the city in there, in Auburn, Modesto, wherever it's at. So then when you reply back to them inside that review, you come back and say, Lauren, thank you so much. I really appreciate helping helping the family out in this tough situation of selling the home in the same, and then, relate both of the towns back and forth. So then it actually, algorithms will pick that up that you work in that area. So there's some things that are important because, guys, each day, don't we just start out at zero? We go to sleep at zero and we wake up. Have you guys ever felt like all of a sudden your escrow board is like zero or maybe only one or none or maybe six, and you just kind of look at it and you go, where's the business coming from right now? Where am I at right now? And I will tell you that about 4 to 6 months ago, that day that you took off, or didn't prospect during that time, that's what happens. It catches up to you. So it's about, you need to continue to prospect all the time. I got an escrow the other day that's in escrow, and it's a 90-day escrow. And my wife says, wow, I don't like those long escrows because they just, so many things can happen. But I said, yes, there can be, and I understand that. But the deal is that now, at least, sweetie, we got money that's going to be coming up in 90 days. And so I have an escrow closing next in 3 weeks that we got back in November. And so it's closing. So, I mean, it's nice to just put these things in and have them coming, and just have that database where then you want to be kind of a consultant where they just call you. I went over to a house. I've never sold these people a house, and I've been over to their home several times, went over to their relative's house just recently, about maybe helping them with a rental. People are calling me because they want to know and they understand that I have some knowledge in real estate and I'm trying to help them. So guys, we all start at zero. So what are we going to do when we wake up? Are we just going to get up and we're going to pound it? Or are we just going to kind of go through and our day and kind of just go back to number one and slide and just wait for the business and wait for the business? This isn't a wait for the business business strategy, you know. And then there's also, you don't want to just be busy to be busy. You actually have to do the things, because I love this. And part of that race car analogy I was sharing with those who joined us in the beginning is that we're all in the same lanes. We're all in the same traffic, but we're in different lanes. So I could be in the speed, you know, going on the left-hand side, going super, super fast, and other people are pitting, or yes, I'm going to take a pit stop and I'm going to readjust. But I do those pit stops back in November and December. That's when I do my pit stops, to be able to understand and see where I'm going to head and where I'm going to position myself for 2023. So it's important to kind of understand that we are all in the same boat. The market's
you.
See what I got.
I'm listening to Eric Hatch because he's great.
All right, let me get one. All right, just remind you to unmute there, guys. If you guys are on there, let's see. Go back to the top. Well, we have a lot of people today, guys. This is fantastic. So thank you very much. Oh, we got somebody. I don't want to. We got Talia's in the house. It's great. Welcome. Appreciate you being here. All right, so all in the same lane. So I want to share this with you, is that keep this in mind. Those who have been in real estate for more than 10 or 12 years, when we actually saw the market kind of go down and now it kind of went back up. And as I mentioned, we're in this huge straightaway. But right now, you know, it's time to kind of pivot. And those people are all in the same market. Yes, they may have sold a few more houses than you guys, but they're all in the same market of this transitioning market of like, how do I go out and get more business? And so we'll share some of these ideas. And this is the houses that I mentioned to you that I've got 9 listings so far, and then 6 more that are coming that are committed to me. So that's important to be able to do and understand that. And I'm going to show you kind of how to do that. It's not really, it's the poor lead follow-up, not really the poor lead, you know, generation skill. So what do you guys do for your follow-up, you know, on these leads? You know, what do you guys have? And I want to share that with you. That's important to be able to have this follow-up, because I sent out an email today on somebody who we took their house off the market 3 years ago. Am I following up with them? Or am I feeling like, yeah, we didn't sell it, so it was unsuccessful, and they probably don't like me anymore because I didn't sell their home. So why would they choose me again if we had it on for several months? They pulled it off the market. So is that a pity party? That's a total pity party. I don't want to have a pity party. So I want to continue to bring value to them. So hopefully one day when they come to put the house back on the market, that I'm their agent of choice. So it's about that follow-up and that continual drip of these individual people, because I will share with you that memory is not a CRM. And so I'm not going to take you can actually put your thumb up if you want or whatever and say, you know, how many people actually have, how many people actually have a CRM system? You know, the answer to that question is that you all have one, because Dan's provided you one. But the question is, how many people are using it? If you guys are not using your CRM system, it's like that. You know, it's like, you know, it's perfect. I probably need to do some of these social posts, Jessica, with my face looking like that, or maybe that's too panicked. But I will tell you right now that if you're not doing and doing it correctly, then you're in trouble. You know, I know that my new assistant, as I mentioned, I want to run her under the bus there a little bit, but she goes, wow, this is just overwhelming when you got almost 10,000 people in your database. It's like, what do you do with them? And she probably lives in that database, what she's doing right now. What do you live in there? About 2 hours a day? You know, she's 2 hours a day. So, you know what, and it's great. And some of you who don't have an assistant, you know, you only have so many hours of the day. But then when you get to a point where you need one, then you can start delegating some of these type of things for them to do, to be able to start communicating with them. And I'm going to show you, I believe I've got a couple in here, but I want you guys to create lists. I know I've shared this before. I know we got a lot of new people on here today, but I used to just have one database. I know that when Dan and Ron, and they say, hey guys, give me your SOI, and we're going to throw it in here. We're going to send out at least one contact with a nice, beautiful newsletter every month. That's great, but you cannot take 10,000 people in a database and send the same 10,000 people the same thing. You know, I do that twice a month. Well, maybe Jessica does that twice a month, but I don't, you know, but I need to have ready buyers, future buyers, about to list, future listings, you know, my VIP club, my expired listings, my Facebook list, my core 100, which we talked about recently, my, you know, agent referrals. Well, that's an interesting one. Agent referrals. You know, I've got Jessica, a social media person, on here, and she probably doesn't know this unless she was watching, but she sent out this most beautiful video the other day about our new listing. And I had several real estate agents, competitors of mine, just reach out to me and say, well done. That was a beautiful video. Lenders, people, and it was really nice. So It's about just keeping that, and I'm going to talk about visibility in a moment, but I want you guys to break this down. And I believe I have a slide coming up, but if I don't, I'll share it now. But when you go to prospect these individual people and trying to get listings, 9,000, 10,000 people, you just can't do it. So what you want to do is you break that down and say, okay, here's my future listing list. And I think, how many do we have on our future listing list? 60, 70? There's a long list there. So if I wanted to take 20 minutes, which we did the other day, and we prospect just that category, because that's doable and it's achievable. And you can actually mark that down and say, I just spent 20 minutes sending out an email, sending out a quick text, sending out a quick reminder. How are you doing? What can I do to help with you? How's things looking? Super easy, guys. We are still in a 2023 plan of just barely in February that you can still use the line. And you hope you guys used it during the last 30 days. What are your plans for 2023? We had so many people, because we have our future buyer list is so large, that we had so many people that responded to me and let me know on that. And I want to know on my sellers that go, hey, if I send them out another email, go, hey, I know you didn't respond, on that. I just wanted to reach out one more time. Are you still kicking around that? Or are you just kind of thinking maybe 6 to 12 months down the road, or just kind of putting things completely on pause at the moment? Just quickly send me a quick text or let me know so I can actually update that. So I don't feel like I'm bothering you and hitting you with so many emails. So I just want them to respond back to me. So anybody who's got to need to mute, go ahead and mute if anybody's on there with somebody talking in the background. All right. So create these lists. So then that way you guys can do something that's achievable and you can do. Now, I like personal videos. Who else likes personal videos? Anybody that we've been talking? Laura, I think that we've been talking about getting on the videos and that, so the funny part is that sometimes, I don't know, for me and maybe Jacob with shorter hair and stuff, and that's pretty easy to do, but that's pretty long with that video right there compared to what I have now. But if you women, which I know you guys love to do, about just getting different highlights and all sorts of stuff, so then all of a sudden you do a video. I love it when I go to a house and go, hey, you look like your picture. Woof, we made it. But I know some of you women like do different hairdos and stuff. So I preset my videos. These are some set videos that I already have done. So then what happens is I don't have to go redo them. And so if I'm out, I can grab my CRM on my phone. I can have my assistant do it. The video is already set. A new listing comes in. Boom. I don't have time to reshoot a more personal one, but I want them to speed to the lead. And I can send out a video and there it goes. It says, thank you so much for reaching out. I appreciate it. I'll get right back to you or whatever. Thank you for finding me online. Want to put a face to a name. So these are preset that you can actually come in here and you can do a mass video to all these individual people. I can do mass text to these individual people. So these are important to be able to have the tools in your CRM to be able to hit more people faster versus just having to really seriously reach out and call them every single day. But I do want to, and I think it's a slide in here too, I do want you guys to do 5 phone calls a day. Can you guys do 5 phone calls a day? Is it simple to do 5 calls? Can you imagine if you guys did 5 calls a day to a database seeking after listings, what that might do for your business? Because if you calculate that, I know Jared James calculated it, and maybe I have the slide in here, but it was some 6 or 7 additional transactions. I don't know about you, but I mean, 6 or 7 transactions gets me to Hawaii, San Diego, so that's really nice. So that's my why, is to travel the world with my wife. That's what we want to do. So making these daily contacts, because there's the visibility trumps ability by Jared James. Those who are new, if you don't have your visibility and your face and out there all the time, if they see you all the time, if you have a brand new agent, that I know that I don't think that we have Sarah in the house today, but if you've got Sarah, who's just so visible on social media that you see her everywhere, and she's like 1.5 years into real estate. And you would think, Jessica, those who know her, you'd probably think that she looks like she's been in real estate for her whole entire life. She's fabulous at it. And she's just absolutely just kicking it. I mean, she announced yesterday, I think there was Shelby, you were at tour yesterday. She announced, I think 2 or 3 new listings that she's coming on. And here we are, and she's been doing that. She was a Centurion agent in the Century 21 system on her first year. So I'm voting for her, which we don't have a vote, but for maybe a rookie of the year, since she's in my class. So that's what I would love. So you know what? So the ability just to get out there. So your face has to be out there in your community. It has to be. And I don't care what you do with how you get that, but other than I do care. Don't put it on the most wanted. Okay. Don't do that. But I want you to do, get it out there for your just a resource. And I was telling, I think Tally is it right there. I told her yesterday, I said, I want you just to go down to Starbucks with a little piece of paper that says, and stand it up and behind plastic and say, my name's, Eric, and I'm in real estate. And if you have any questions, let me know. And you're sitting there at Starbucks, and that I would rather do that than sit here on floor time and kind of wait. That's actually be more proactive and just switching, pivoting a little bit, adjusting the pit stop, going out in the public, sitting there and saying, I'm in real estate. And if you did that, if you like consistently did that, let's say set a time Wednesday mornings, do you know that the people in Starbucks that they come in and they usually have a set time that they come in as well and they hang out and chat with their people? Don't you see the same people? So if you actually sat there on Wednesday mornings and consistently did that for like a month and you just kind of watched and saw what happens, and then just start saying, then you all of a sudden you're going, hey, then you got to get a little bit creepy, because then you can listen to the names when the barista says, hey, what's your name? I go, I'm Jessica. They write it on the cup. And then next time they walk in on next Wednesday, hey, Jess, how are you? And it's like, how do they know my name? Well, I'm in real estate. I know everything. So, so you can kind of be kind of fun with that. So I would do that. To get more listings, you need to say the right thing at I think that's the right place and the right time to the right people. And that's Jared James as well. And I want to share this, guys, that it's really important to understand, and I was sharing this with Shelby this morning, that you need to understand that when you go to an open house or when you meet a buyer, about 60% of those buyers need to sell a house. So when you get a buyer lead that comes on into your CRM system, one of the first questions that we need to start asking them is like, well, what price range do you want to be in? Well, what area do you want to be in? Have you been pre-approved? And go through all the basic questions. But shouldn't we be asking them, do you have a house to sell? And if they say, yeah, we're moving from Oregon, or we're moving from, somewhere else. And I'm going to go off this a little bit, but like today at 4:30, I have a Zoom meeting with my buyers, 100% locked in. Everybody who I have a Zoom meeting with my buyer and do a 30 minutes to an hour video with them on this, that builds so much rapport before they drive into town and meet 4 different real estate agents. And all of a sudden now they just pick one, and hopefully I'm the lucky one to get it. That's something that I've been doing here for about 6 months, and it's been amazing. So, meet them and then understand, do you need them? Ask them, do you have somebody? Guys, it's free money. I think there's a slide, it might not be in this one, but there's I think I got maybe 4 deals last year just by, just by saying, hey, do you need to move? Do you have an agent? Do you don't have an agent? Sometimes they don't work with that agent, but at the same time, do it. I know a pro tip. I thought it was brilliant. This person with this land today, he actually is sending, he's got one client and he went out to 3 different real estate agents. So now he just has a way better percentage chance so the buyer's supposed to be calling me soon to interview me. But he went out, found 3 agents, and now she's calling all 3 agents and she's going to see. So that actually was smart for that agent, because now instead of it's just a 50-50 shot if they take Eric or not, now he's got like a way better shot, because somebody of those 3 different people, why would she not want to list with one of those 3 different individuals? So I thought that was brilliant, and that's something that I'm going to share. All right. 5 calls a day, increase my pay. Yes, Sarah Stoneser, she's great on social. Yep, she is fantastic. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing that. And I loved it the other day because Sarah was doing a little video, and then she did that little video and goes, hey, you guys want to know what blah, blah, blah is? And she hooked them, and she was listening to our podcast and our videos. And so she hooked them, and then she went into her video and says, come on in, let me show you. So that's something important to do, is when your videos that you want to get them to be engaged with you in that first 10 seconds. And that's when you kind of get your little hook of what that video is all about. And then people will stay a little bit longer. So I just love her little personality there on video. It's great. And everybody knows what she looks like. So, she's not scared to go show her face. So that's leveraging with the buyer. First conversation, this was interesting. There was a brilliant, if you guys haven't, there was a podcast yesterday with Jimmy Mackin from Curator with Tom Ferry. That was great. The first conversation, and one of them was said, the first conversation is earning the right for a second conversation to build in rapport. And I love this little podcast that they did. They put 6 little chocolate chip cookies in the middle, and everybody that had a golden nugget, or they called it a cookie, they got to grab a cookie, or they threw a cookie and slid it over their side of the table, because that was one. But this was really critical, is that conversation, when you have that, how long do you guys, those who want to share your microphone, if you feel like you have build a conversation, build a rapport, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 20 minutes, how long do you guys like to stay on a conversation with a seller and a buyer? What do you like? But I will tell you that, I like to have, if I could be on something with a 20-minute conversation, I feel like that I have hit that. And I know we talked about, setting expectations a couple weeks ago, and we'll have that class again soon. But please, guys, that never leave a conversation without the next expectation of when you're going to call and contact or what the next step is. Never leave your CRM system without having a new task on the bottom of your mine's on the bottom right, of making a task of what the next thing is with this individual person, when I'm going to talk to this person next, and then go and execute it. So that when you go up and you say, hey, Shelby, thanks so much. I know we spoke a month ago about the potential of selling your home. I put notes in there. I say, Shelby, how's your family? I know you had some illness in your family. How's that going? Oh, it's doing great. I talked to a girl named Rose yesterday that, we're talking to her, about every month, and and she's new, but I think it's been about a year and a half. And she goes, we're about there. We're about there to, to buy a home, saving a little bit more money. And now when I call and I talk to her, first she was like, now who is this? And then I said my name again. Oh, Eric. So now she's recognizing my name and she's understanding that who I am. And several people yesterday that we actually sent emails out to said, thank you for continuing to send these information, because I have showing now, I have warm buyers, and I just have new leads. And if the new lead then turns into like a conversation, I move them to a warm lead. And then if I'm showing property, I move them to showing now. So then when we're actually doing our prospecting and I'm doing showing now clients, I can be a little bit more personal about their life versus just, just still trying to earn that conversation about earning that business and building a rapport. So it's about just building that database and continuing doing that. During communication, you need to give your value. So why should a seller hire you? Why? I know some of you are brand new. And I remember when I went to my first listing presentations, I was horrible. I was absolutely horrible. We didn't have, anything to go by as far as marketing materials or anything. I had to make my own marketing material, but let me see if I can find this. Okay. I was thinking about this book the other day. Nobody has seen this book for like ages, but can you imagine this book right here, guys? I took this book and this was like, and I should go anytime you guys get a card. This was old school where I actually got a letter typed to me about to whom it may concern, or Century 21 awards, or newspaper articles about this, or Masters Club kind of stuff, or people who gave me third party endorsements and all these little cards that some of you should be keeping these. This is good for your kids to read, that they'll see how nice a person you are. And so I would leave this book with them, and I would at a listing presentation, and I would seriously leave that book with them and just say, hey, I'm going to leave this book so you get a little bit more about me, blah blah blah. And then I would come back and get it, a couple days later, 2-3 days later. So it got me back in the door. So it was kind of fun. That was the old school of why should you hire me? Now I'm going to show you a little bit about why you should. And so I want to share, well, maybe it's going to be coming right here. So let me share this with you. It needs to be updated a little bit, but I want to share that that it's so important, guys, before you go in and actually meet one of your potential listings that you're going to go talk to, you have to send them stuff before you go. You have to send a pre-listing package. If you don't have a pre-listing package, you guys need to make one. And this is basically, as I know some of you may have seen this, again, to those who are brand new, this is going to look a little bit overwhelming, but I'm telling you guys, I just started out with 1 slide, 2 slides, 3 slides. And I'll tell you, here's where you start. You go get the guaranteed sales program slide. You go get the refurbished slide that our company provides us. You go get the I think there's probably one of the foreclosure, the help you out of foreclosure side. I will tell you, I'm actually personally looking at purchasing a property right now that came from the guaranteed sales program that he had called me, and I shared that program with them. And he was kind of going, well, that's actually an interesting program. They were just about to list with a different company. And I came in and says, well, what about the guaranteed sales program? And so he goes, well, that's fun, because he wanted it to be really kind of quick. And I did it twice. Now, both of those 2 people, I talked to Dan, and being off grid, non-permitted structures and a couple of things, I didn't want to take the company down that road. But I will tell you right now, it actually got me in the door. It got me in the door. So you can actually share those programs, have them behind plastic, have them in go to a Google Slides, put them in a PowerPoint. That's basically what this is. Get the third-party endorsement. As you can see, I want to share with you the 2 middle pictures right here. That just is a sold sign, but I want you guys, if you have your sold signs, and I have, these are my old ones, because now I have lit just sold with, or sold with, and then also just purchase with, and I put your name on the bottom. Because sometimes if you're actually taking a picture on this one with this family, I'm not in that picture. So nobody knows who sold them that house. So that picture could live here for a long time, but like, well, where am I? So, you know, get to the point where maybe I have a tripod. You can actually get your Apple Watch, and I could set up a picture and go boom and click. So these are things that you want to kind of do, but I want you guys, just in case that you are not on the picture, at least your name is on the sign. So then you can tag that. Okay. And I want you to notice that, like this one with Risa right here, I've sold this one when this one here at the movie theater, I've sold her family probably 10 houses. Kids, grandparents, grandma, divorced, other family members, just, it's been crazy. But this was at a customer appreciation movie night, and I sat there and just had brought my sold sign, and goes, you know what, we haven't taken a picture for a while. And I just took a bunch of pictures with a bunch of people there at my customer appreciation party. So get something like that. You guys can all do your bio, put some type of bio in there. You know what, see, needs to be updated. I think my kid saw one of these years ago, and this is, Dad, I thought you had 5 children, not 4. So I forgot to add my little Gracie. So, you need to, update that. And we do have these, we have a class in January-ish, December-ish, where we actually do a bio, and then we go into the bio and we go to every single hands-on system that we have where and make sure it's creative all the way across, just crossed. So I can't really send this out today and say, hey, here's my sales for 2022. So I need to update this. And I will tell you, this is what I do is I send this, but I send it in a video format. So guys, you can actually do it without your picture. You could record with my little picture in the upper left if you want, bottom right, wherever it might be. And you can do that, or you could just record with your voice only and go through it. So I take pictures of kind of stuff. So Jessica, who's listening, we need to update this, and I have a few other ideas as well. But so then I record it. It's a 6-minute recording, and I send that video recording, this presentation, to a seller. Now that was all COVID driven. I never did that before, but now it's actually completely changed, because now you actually can tell. I will tell you, when I walk into a house, and if they actually have watched my video or not, I can tell you the rapport is so much different. So it's fantastic. So if we got Linda in the house with Kaylee, if you actually sent out something that said, hey, before we meet, I want you to review this or see what I have to offer. And you want to build that rapport. It's not about what A's and B's and the systems that you have. That's great, but they want to know you. They want to trust you on that. So, because I talk about, guys, I don't like when people actually say, hey, I want an open house every single weekend. And this number is probably way less, but it's like less than 0.003% of the people actually, find their house by an open house, so that I have a whole different feel on open houses. But then I go one up on them, and I said, you know what? Here's the deal. We could do an open house. I don't mind doing it, or have somebody do it for us. But if I come in and do a Facebook Live open house, I can have 400 to 600 people in the next 24 to 48 hours who will watch that video. That's way better than about 6 to 7 people that come over and actually just eat your cookies, and they're mostly your neighbors that just come over to say hi. So keep that in mind. That's a pro tip that I would highly recommend. Now, some of you guys on Facebook Live might completely freak out, but it's like, who cares? Just like, they know who you look like. You just get on there and just, my very first one, it's like 3, 2, 1. Hey, so it's like, so this other video the other day, and I realized I'm talking too fast. I need to slow down. So take your video, and then you can share it with somebody. Like my presentation video on this video here, I was talking fast. I was trying to get through a lot of stuff, and I actually had this, I don't know, this guy who was like into marketing, and one of my clients, and he called me. I said, what'd you think of the video? And he said, you talk too fast. And so I went back to the office. I redid it, because I didn't get the listing yet. And so he was interviewing 3 or 4 people, and I redid the video, and I said, hey, do you mind? I really appreciate that polite criticism, whatever you want. And it says, can you watch that video and tell me what you think about it? But what I did is I actually made him watch it again. And then he emailed me and goes, much better. I like this one much better. And then he listed with me 2 days later. So I had him, but that was a little interesting that I had him watch it twice, because he was actually helping me out there. And so I talk about, professional photography, about kind of what you can do. And, seriously, guys, and I use Box Brownie. If you guys don't know what Box Brownie is, you do now. And so Box Brownie is a company. This was shot by Box Brownie right here. I shot it. I shoot these videos, or I shoot these pictures, and then you submit it into Box Brownie, and then they make them all turn into this. And so I've had actually some high-end agents in different companies call me recently and say, "Who does your photography? It's phenomenal." And I go, "I do." So, but you send it in, and they can put the fire in the fireplace and so, you know, things of that nature. And they make the little dusk shot like this one with the little clouds and stuff in the back. So it's really nice. And I tell them before, make sure again to set an expectation, because if I say I've got professional photography, you better believe that I'm already telling them about the processing and who I send it to and yada yada, because I don't want to show up with my cell phone camera and they think, you know, and then I didn't have that conversation. They go, "This is Eric's professional photographer. He's showing up with his cell phone." So you got to make sure you have that conversation, because it doesn't look the same as having somebody walk in with 6 backpacks and, you know, a bunch of cameras. So just as a pro tip on experience on that. You know, I talk about, you know, talk about who searches for the home, that our websites are compatible. We have Century 21 Global. I kind of push that. You could go Coldwell Banker if you're a Coldwell Banker franchise, because both of those are very big. So guys, this is where it gets kind of fun, and it probably, I don't want to actually go there because you can, but you see that, like, see how this one actually has a little finger right here over this one. You can see if I click it, it's going to do something, and then that one will do something too. And so this takes me to drone footage link on in the drive. This takes me to a virtual tour. You can see which one actually will do certain things, but this takes me to the website, their C21 website of their house. So these are actually all driven inside a Google Drive, where they've got Google links, and you can attach a picture and drive that to somewhere. So you know, this talks of this one, you got to sometimes update things, because this one goes into my paid digital advertisement of Facebook in the back door. Then you got this one right here, my buyer database. So anyway, and I go, those who are C21 agents, this is the Century 21 golden ruler. So agents or sellers really like to know, like, who, you know, how are you going to communicate? You know, my last agent, I love sitting there, guys. There's a whole, and I could talk about kind of the procedure, how I do a listing presentation, but just sit at the counter, you sit at a table first, make sure you're not playing ping pong. Do not put this one Mrs. and the Mr. over here. You want them across the table, on the side of the table, just sit there so you can see both of their faces. And you have a conversation with them. And then I listened to them and said, "Hey, you know, I noticed if it's a expired listing, I'd say, hey, I'm just kind of curious. You know, I know your property didn't sell. And what were the things that you disliked most about the process of what happened when you had your house listed last year?" Is that a gutsy question to ask? I don't think so. I ask it because now I can get a whole list of what not to do. So I'll write that, go, you know, so that's important. So now I know, okay, they want more communication. So then when I go through this presentation, I'm going to share this a little bit more, highlight that here's this communication. So, you know, it's kind of important. Then again, third-party endorsements, you know, grab the 5 stars, you know, grab people there, the Yelp reviews. You know, you'll probably see that some of these are very specifically detailed on kind of who they are and what happened there. So then we've got kind of go over a little bit about our Instagram and the Facebook and just being out there. And again, remember that if you are on a pre-call with them and they say, "Yeah, you know, I found Lauren, you know, because I always ask, 'Hey, Lauren, how'd you find me?' And Lauren says, 'Yeah, I found you on Yelp.' Okay, great. Or, 'Yeah, I found you on Instagram,' or 'I see you around.' So I want to make sure I'm just like you found me, Lauren, on Facebook. That's where a lot of my buyers come from. And I'm sharing right now about the exposure that we have right now on these platforms, because they're big. You know, I've got somebody in November just bought a house for me from YouTube. You know, I asked, 'Where'd you find me?' They said, 'YouTube.' You know, so this one gets a little bit more fun. Again, this is where the overwhelming part starts kind of coming in. But these are like videos. I don't care, guys. I mean, I posted the craziest. I think I just posted, didn't I post that Jessica Fitzu the other day and said, like, "Oh, I love the whole brick. I'm driving downtown Grass Valley. Here's the whole brick." And was it you, Jess, who said the food's delicious? A couple people kind of made comments about the food and stuff, just by a stupid little post of taking a building downtown. But these are videos. I had, you know, these are more professionally done. one day I had like an extra 10 minutes. I just took my camera, stuck it on my dashboard, and drove down the downtown Nevada City and goes, oh, isn't this just a beautiful morning, you guys? And here's the flower market slash, little food street fair. And this is this hotel. Just drove down. That got so many reviews, and it was like so poor quality through like a dirty windshield. So, but it was like people, people enjoyed that. But these are things that you can do of an interviewing. So guys, if there's 1031 tax exchange guy, these people, lenders and people would love to come actually be interviewed and say, hey, I've got somebody, Jessica down below, the other Jessica, not Fitzu, sorry, Vicente, that I've got somebody who just called me and says, we want to be on your podcast. And can we set up an interview with you? And I'm going, okay, well, how, like, that's interesting. So, are they like seeing that enough to where they want to be and they want me to interview them to promote their business? I guess that's when things kind of change a little bit on that. So kind of excited about that. So we will do that. Oops, don't play. Please don't play. Okay. All right. That is not. Okay. Let me just get through the next screen. How about that? Okay. Whew. That would have been fun. All right. So then I talked to them about midweek customer marketing reports. So they get the Mondays, they get the golden ruler through C21. Wednesdays, they get this other ones about where Instagram and where, where their house is being advertised and kind of the ads and the posts that we actually do. Don't be, I know Coldwell Banker and C21 create websites for them. So when your website pops up and says, hey guys, you're corporate sends you an email and says, your house is up and running on, here's the website. Take that website and email it back over to your client. Go, hey guys, just want to know your website is up. Oh, hey guys, your Matterport 360 tour just popped up. If you haven't seen it online, here it is. So like show them that you're actually doing some things so they'll actually know that you are sitting there working. And I kind of talk about that. This is where all of these websites and all this stuff, it just goes and it drives it back into the website, and then it draws more exposure to their home. And I just talked.
Oh no, you're going too fast.
Talked about.
I'm trying to snip all his slides.
All right, okay, guys.
Ah!
Mute whoever's on. Can you guys mute a little bit? All right. So the selling, and again, this is being recorded. You guys will be able to see this later today as soon as it gets posted there on YouTube. Again, those who came on late, just go ahead and go to YouTube, subscribe on there, and then go to All In with Eric Hatch. And I'm going to go back to the front slide too that will show you another little link. So this was just like I love these people. I can't believe this little boy right here. I think he's in like 4th grade right now. I just donated some more to his class project. I do it every year for him, and I give him a crumble cookie. I give him all sorts of wonderful things. So Jessica, make sure I ordered you crumble cookies, Fitzu, okay? Because it's coming Monday, my office. Okay, there's crumble cookie here. All right, so so sorry guys, side note. All right, so then this was like when I sold them the home. This picture I took, she had her other baby the next day after this picture. She was like super pregnant on the steps right there. But this is, I just broke it down. It says, okay, we had this many people at this open house. These are all the engagements that we had through the transaction, and this is the photography, the drone footage, and then this is kind of, then it ended up selling. So whoops. So that was just like a timeline. I think this list has grown, but I talk about the 105 steps to get your home sold. And so it's really important that they understand that there is a checklist, and that checklist is on my drive that you guys can go get as well. All right, 9:49, because I think we have a lot more stuff coming, but I just wanted to show this. And then I ask a little bit too. This is, I think that was the end of my presentation. So I think we might go there on that. I wanted to show you a couple things right here. Now you guys can actually tweak this a little bit. I know a lot of people are in different markets, so I think you're okay. I just don't want everybody that's in Grass Valley to send out the same text, but send this out on your page. What's the one thing your next house will have to have with your current one doesn't. And that's a very intriguing question that I get. Lots of my friends and clients will say, like the other day, a big one was a garage or a 3rd bedroom. If somebody comes up to me and all of a sudden Shelby says, I look on a post that Shelby says, yeah, 3rd bedroom, I might make a quick call and say, hey, Shelby, Is that an announcement? Are you expecting your third baby? You know, where are you at? Do you need that more space? You know, again, I would only do that if I knew Shelby really well, or if she was a client that I knew real well. But I would just go, hey, I noticed that you were looking for a third bedroom. Is that something that you guys are thinking, that you have outgrown your property, or what's your time frame on that? And you'd be surprised that Shelby would probably say, yeah, we're considering doing that maybe about a year or so. So you go on your CRM, you put the notes in, hey, Shelby, I'm going to contact you in 6 months. If anything changes before that, feel free, reach out. I'm there. But then I'm going to call her back in 6 months and go, Shelby, you know, as promised, we had discussed about maybe just checking in with you 6 months down the road. Is that getting closer? Yeah, actually, we're about there. And then so there it is. So, you know, you can do that. We get the comment right here. All right. Yep. Thank you, Jessica. There will be put on YouTube today. And there, thank you, Jessica, for putting my YouTube channel right there too. You're so good, Jessica. Love Jessica's names. They're great. All right. Can't have too many Jessicas. I was joking with both Jessicas that my next assistant was also Jessica, but I was only teasing them. All right. So, you know, on the scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to sell your home if I brought you the right buyer at the right price? Is that intriguing that if you posted that? On a scale of 1 to 10, you know, let's say we get into a lending thing here. You know, it's like scale of 1 to 10. Let's see, Kayla, if the interest rates drop to 5.5, like let's say they went to 5.5, because right now I think they just went up this week. But let's say they went to like 5.5, and you say if the interest rates drop to 5.5, would you be interested in refinancing your house? And she might get 5 or 6 people who she didn't even work with, that might just go, yeah, I'd be interested in that. Isn't that 5 sweet leads that you could have like instantly on that? So that'd be great. So, you know, something of that nature would be kind of fun for you. Let's see, title office. I don't know. You can make up your own thing, Jess, but we can make up something fun. All right. All right. So these are the things, these are like, you know, conversations. Less land, want to trade, you know, because I know that she's, you know, some people know Renee, and she's you know, probably if she's got a bunch of land, I don't know if she's going to be handling that much. A huge soaking tub, you know, a 3-car garage, a garage, you know, like no kids. That's an interesting one. A big bathtub, can't help with that one. So these are kind of people, you know, it's like I can sell Heather, our manager, an in-ground pool. So just kind of fun, some fun things, but a lot of them were garage, which is kind of fun. All right. If you had any thoughts of selling, are you living your dream home? So those are some polls that you could do on Instagram, you know, for the right price. Again, I will tell you right now, I know that people know who you look like and what you look like, but the deal is that if you put your picture and you do something like this, and Jessica's taught me that, is that, you know, they'll if I just put a picture of a house and I say, are you thinking about selling for the right price? They might skip over that. But if it's you or your family, I know my wife is getting a little bit, I would say annoyed a little bit that I keep posting her, but it's fantastic. She's like the best thing ever. And you guys should see the picture that's going to come up that we got our hair done the other day, and she's in like foil and stuff. And I'm, you know, it's like hilarious. But these are fun things that people like, that fun engagement of just life, you know, is what they want. They don't want to be, you know, super serious. So again, just sold, you know, by Eric Catch. That's one of my new signs right there. Contests, giveaways. I don't know, Jess, can you mention anything about the pizza thing we did, National Pizza Day? How many people we got? Any statistics on that, or where we were with that?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so we did a contest over the last 2 days. It was a very brief contest. Yesterday was National Pizza Day, so Eric did a video on just a few fun facts about pizza, and then invited everybody to comment or like the post. And then from there, whoever watched the video to completion and then liked the post was entered into a drawing for a gift card. So that basically prompts people to engage with your content. And that helps you in the long term. So yeah, you might be spending $25, $50 on a gift card prize, but giveaways are a great way to engage your audience into liking, commenting, following, and engaging with your content, and building your audience. And then whoever ends up winning, actually, they feel special. They feel like, oh, wow, Eric's a real person. He's actually following through on his giveaways. I'm going to keep engaging because I want to win again, or I trust him now more than I did before because he followed through on his promise And then that just creates like another opportunity to have a client in the long run. They might not be selling their house right now, but they saw you, they engaged with the giveaway, and now you have a connection that you might have not had before just because you offered, you know, a free gift card to a pizza place.
And I think the winners was somebody in Century 21 Select up in, I don't know, Chico somewhere. And then the other one was one of our buyers. So I sold the house who moved back to the area. But what I'm going to do with Kelsey on that is I'm going to say, hey, when you guys want to go? And I'm going to actually make it a date. So I want to actually go eat pizza with their family and my family is what I want to do. So it will be different than just mailing them the card. I'm going to set it up where like, hey, when you guys want to go? And then so I go, my credit card has to be present to be able to buy your food.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. So now I actually just had $25 pizza, you know, actually I could do a whole tax write-off because that's a whole dinner with my pizza too. So maybe my whole entire family will come. That'd be too much. But anyway, so, but it would be kind of fun. So now you actually do a little tax write-off. You actually could sit with their family, my family, and we have a conversation. We build more rapport. So when they're ready to find that house, that when it hits the market, that we're ready to go. So thank you, Jessica, for that. You know, this is something I know people walk around the neighborhood, call me about your home, put a little card there, a little stick-em note, and just stick that there, which is a good little like fun little idea. And then let's see. All right, cloud sold hashtag. Yeah, I don't want to get into that right now, but anyway, but we're going to continue going through this because there's like about six different slide, or I think I had like literally 6 listing presentations, and I just combined a bunch of them together, and we'll do more next week as well of just going out and getting those listings. So I want to just go back to that right there. So guys, that is my drive. So you'll have to be invited to it. So just click on that. And then I think you'll probably ask me to invite you or to let you in. But this is where we put a lot of other different pieces and content that you actually can go and pull out of there as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the sharing portion and stop the recording. Thank you guys.